ready to ride a bike. I'm just gonna double check here and make sure that my mic is working before I take off. Alright, I think we're good. Got about 40 minutes in yesterday before I realized that bad boy wasn't turned on. So I think we're good to go. Got towel, got water. Got my shoes on. Camera's working. So whatever the thing is that I forgot, it has not revealed itself yet. So this is a ride that I've been doing a lot as I'm kind of building my foundation. And it is just a way to build up a little extra endurance with the time that I have available to ride. I'm actually building on this one a little bit over the what I've done the last couple of weeks. So I'm keeping it tight into an hour, unlike what happened yesterday when I was climbing the Alp. But I had to get I had to get to the top, and then, you know, had to get all that XP coming back down. So, you know, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. But this one's gonna be tight to an hour, and it's mostly zone 2, kind of just like middle of zone 2, and then every couple minutes we're gonna surge up to 100% of FTP for 30 seconds. And just to give a little extra stimulus, a little extra stress. We don't really need FTP work out of this, so it's not like we need to, you know, we're not going to sit there and crank out 40 minutes of FTP. We're not going for conssecutive stuff. It's really not even, we're not looking for time and zone. It's not really even about that FTP effort. It's just about the surge, the extra stress on top of the zone 2. So, and depending on where you are in your plan and what kind of stress you need to get out of your workout, you can do FTP, you can do VO2 max, you can really play around with these surges and do with it whatever you need. Next week, I've got one where I'm throwing some, forget exactly what zone or what my target is, but much more intense. I'm trying to raise the TSS of that workout. Trying to hit my target for the week, which this week I am sort of blowing past my target, but it's tough to stop riding. and my legs feel good. So I don't feel like I'm definitely not ramping too fast. I just realized I'm gonna get my chat window open. The chat window that I've got open is for my Twitch channel. So if you're watching me on Facebook or YouTube and you want to chat, you can come on over to twitch.tv/EricXJohnson and chat with me there. And while you're at it, why not give me a follow? I'm trying to get up to 50 followers. So, your presence is noticed and important. You are important. You're an important person. All right, so coming up here, just 4 minutes of kind of sweet spot. Don't go too crazy in this warm-up. You know, just I'm gonna try to do a little fast pedaling here. You know, I mean, raise the cadence up a little bit. Not like, I'm not aiming for like 110 RPMs or anything like that. But I'll find a nice spot, settle in here. 90 feels good for the most part. In a couple minutes here, for 60 seconds, I'll shift down a gear and raise that up. What? Shift gears? You're not in ERG mode? That's weird. I actually don't like it as much. So all of my indoor trainer stuff over the years has been on my old school Cyclops Fluid 2. So I'm on a Ceres H3 now. And it's got all the fancy features like you would expect from a premium level trainer. But this is how I've always done my workouts, and it's kind of how I prefer it. You absolutely can use that ERG mode for these workouts. I do like that you can, adjust your cadence. You can just kind of focus on that cadence, but let's bump that cadence up here while we're talking about it. I can finish that thought. go. So the thing about ERG mode that I don't like, depending on the workout, is that there's a little bit of lag time as the trainer responds to what you're doing. And I also have the Favreau Osseoma power meter pedals. So that's what I'm going off of for my power. That's my primary power meter. So I just realized I'm on the wrong bike. Whatever, it doesn't matter. This is about the workout. This is my climbing setup. But I like that the power meter, gives me a little nice, sharp, clean graphs. It really shows when the interval starts and when it stops. When I look at the those zone heat maps down there, when I'm in ERG mode, it tends to jump around a little bit more. And so shifting through my gears and adjusting my cadence, I feel like, for me, just seems to work a little better. It's kind of what I'm used to, but that's not to say if you flip over into ERG mode and that's the way you prefer it, that you're going to end up with a lesser workout. I don't think that's really the case. It might be worth looking at your time in zone if you're trying to do something, like some intensive FRC and that kind of stuff. Something where, the interval's only, 15 or 20 seconds long. A little bit of a hard shift there. And overshot it by a week and a half. Got really ambitious on that one. Holy cow. Just yeah, this will. Stay right in that blue zone. Yeah, I am kind of, I don't know, I feel like I'm just kind of between gears. That's where you could sit there and argue, like, yeah, well, go into ERG mode, sit at 85 RPMs. And this would be a great spot for that. Well, only 12 more of those in zone 2. I'm just parking in zone 2. My heart rate will be in the mid 140s. So you'll see it kind of recover a little bit after those surges, but not too much, because we're not dropping into our recovery zone, or we shouldn't be. But it won't quite recover all the way down to zone 2, and then we're going to raise it back up again. So you pretty much do this zone 2 effort at a higher heart rate than you normally would. And you get a little bonus time in zone 4. It looks like I kind of went cross over into zone 5 on that last one. I'll try not to do that too much. But that's really not the end of the world either, because like I say, this is a zone 2 ride, or it's an endurance ride. Here we go. Kind of playing around with what gear I want to use here. So this is my big chain ring, and somewhere in the middle in the back, to do that, I'm in my small ring now, and I am really kind of crossing small to small right now just for this effort. So I don't think I'm going to sweat that 30-second effort too much, but I'm just trying to keep a little stress off my chain. You know, when you go, when you're crossing it up like that, it puts a little extra strain on it, a little extra wear on the parts, but also kind of gobbles up your watch a little bit. So you gotta kind of watch out for that mechanical efficiency as well. Big ring gear. Might have better luck. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, now we're talking. That feels a lot better. Still getting a little ambitious there. 10 surges left. So each one of these by itself, 2 minutes and 30 seconds at zone 2, 30 seconds at zone 4. Should be pretty easy to complete, but you should be feeling some building up of the fatigue as you go through the combined efforts. It's about the accumulation and not each individual effort. So, should still feel fairly tired by the end of this ride. One modification that I made is, well, one, I added a few surges since the last time I did this one. And I also had I had it broken up into a couple of different segments with some actual recovery in between, and I figured out with my fitness level right now that I don't really need those in this ride. It's not bad to throw those in there when you're just coming off an off season, or if you haven't ridden in a while, but now I've kind of progressed to a point where I want that straight stress all the way through the workout. See, I'm still recovering into the high 140s. And legs are starting to loosen up a little bit, so having trouble, just didn't feel very good kicking up to that 95 RPMs, which you could argue that should make that part of my warm-up, which it is in other workouts, but I think that's a mental note for this one, because that's kind of what I want to do with these surges, is spin up a little bit more. We don't need to worry about, a lot of strength building on this one. So we got that built in on other workouts. So yeah, I'll just make mental note of that as far as a little tweak to this workout. I just got a dropped frames warning, so sorry about that. I'll take a look and see if I can get to the bottom of that after this. Shouldn't be asking too much. 8 to go. Still feeling good. Really do a good evaluation of kind of a physical assessment after this next surge. As I stood up and I grabbed a drink there, and that stuff raises your heart rate a little bit. That was my best surge yet. Look how yellow that one is. Looks like we're peaking at 165. It's hit 166. So we'll see where she comes down. But we want to keep it up. Drop into zone 1. That's not that won't be a good assessment. also see what that does is puts that crest a little lower too. So we are over halfway. This is a ride that I really do love. You're working hard, you're working up a sweat, but recovering, or well, not like full recovery, but maintaining a nice easy pace for a good length of time. And there's a lot of stuff that you can do to manipulate this type of workout to serve your purposes. You can play with the length and intensity of the surge. You can play with how much zone 2 there is. I actually shortened it up from the last time I did this. Shortened up the duration between the surges and then eliminated those little bits of rest. And if you're finding your heart rate's climbing too much, you know, go ahead and throw in 4 minutes of recovery in there. You know, kind of break it up a little bit. Nothing wrong with that. You'll build more endurance if you can maintain the effort throughout, but you know, it's all about the build. You do something one way this week, then you build on it next week. Really starting to feel like I'm getting in a rhythm with these surges now. The first few felt real choppy. Got another pollen alert here in west central Wisconsin. Kind of glad I'm doing this indoors today instead of being out there. Be real congested, I'm sure. I don't get the allergies too bad, but when there's a lot in the air, I definitely feel it. into the double digits now. Only a few more to go. And then we're done. That's a bummer. I'm going to lay out a prediction right here too. I think when we look at this ride when I'm done, I think it's still probably not quite hard enough, but it's certainly fine for what I did this week. And I kind of went a little over the top this week compared to what I was planning. So no big deal. This will be just a nice ride without too much stress. But I will look at it as far as, you know, how to fit it in elsewhere. I probably could shorten it up to 2-minute zone 2s, but we'll see. It's my catchphrase. We'll see. We'll see what happens. More of those to go. I see my heart rate is still elevated, but I'm not really feeling much in my legs, even after 11 of those surges. But it's probably getting time to do some testing again. is three weeks, and over the next 3 weeks, that'll mark the end of my first foundation building period, and so that would probably be a spectacular time to do a little testing moving into the next one. Well, now I'm feeling just a little hint of something. Maybe this will work out after all. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what the data says. Actually, that should be more, that's got to be my catchphrase. We'll see what the numbers say. I know what it feels like, but there's an awful lot of things that can contribute to what it feels like. And I want to say the numbers don't lie, but of course it's never quite as simple as all that. What I'll say is, once you know how to find and eliminate bad data, then the numbers don't lie. But some power meters are a little better than others as far as that goes. The Fabro Osciomas, I have to say, have been exceptionally reliable. Not paying me to say that. Maybe they should. I'll send them an invoice. But they are very good. I love these pedals. Maybe they'll send me the right pedal kit for speaking so highly of them. I've got it set up. I bought a pair of the Unos, which only has left side power, which is, it's great, you know, like, it definitely gets you on the right path, but there's a lot more that can be done when you're getting information from both sides. So that is an upgrade that I want to make. So if anyone knows somebody that works for Fabro Electronics in Italy, you know, put in a good word for me. Otherwise, I will say it is worth my hard-earned dollars to buy that kit. Oh. Zone 2 and then we cool down. Well, there we go, we hit 170. 171. Well, that's not too bad. Got another route. One step closer to my 808 Super 9 set. You guys are gonna have to watch out for that trail of flame behind me. They really did a bang-up job on this world. And I can only imagine the amount of work that goes into creating something like this. And so I understand kind of what I'm asking when I say, like, man, more. Give us more. Really is fantastic. Okay. So you can kind of, you know, well, tomorrow is an off day, I'll be kicking back and resting up, eating some good food, good nutrition, getting all the sleep I can get. Then on Tuesday, we're going to do some anaerobic capacity, building on what I did last week. And I gotta say, I'm feeling pretty prepared for it. Yeah, especially after an off day tomorrow. I'll feel real ready to get after it. Now, I noticed during this ride, I was not particularly paying attention to my form. So, what has happened is I allowed my shoulders to come up, and I'm starting to feel it in my hands now. So, when I relax my shoulders, bend in the elbow, I grip my hoods properly, I don't have that problem. But when I let myself get real tense, I find myself cheating back on my bars, so my hands are more on the bend. You relax your shoulders, relax your elbows. Put yourself in a muscular I did that last time too. Muscular supported posture rather than skeletal. And all that stuff, it will feel better. You won't be pinching down on your nerves and your blood vessels, and all that stuff is just going to flow better, more naturally. Wow, look at that. We are done. Save that screen at the last second. All right, let's just sit down and have a quick peek here. See how this worked out. I realized during the day I've got those curtains open behind me, so I realize that's kind of a glare, but I'm not in a professional filming studio. I could close the curtains, but I like them open. Alright, so let's have a quick peek here. So we're kind of cresting around 161, and we ended cresting around 171. So we 10 beats per minute. I could add a little more stress to that workout if I needed to. But I actually didn't really even need the 55 TSS today for my week. I just didn't want to not ride today. If I were one of my riders, I probably would have encouraged. I don't know. So I definitely don't think 2 days. I definitely don't need 2 days of rest right now in a row. So it's it is sort of an interesting scenario. I guess I would maybe the advice that I would give the rider in this particular case, the advice that maybe moving forward, let's just pay a little closer attention to the plan and not go overboard so much. Yesterday I decided to instead of doing a race, I decided to do a VO2 max workout on altitude. Oh yeah, we're gonna tempo that. Sort of and you decide. I'd say like you're not getting enough stress. I would say, bump that up next week. Or in your next rides. And just kind of being careful of ramping up, because feeling better and feeling stronger is a good thing, for sure. So. But you just want to do it kind of in a careful, controlled manner instead of just like, oh, I feel good, I'm just going to hammer some stuff out, because that might affect the work that you got coming up in the next couple of days. So, not that that's a super hard and fast rule, but you just gotta kind of keep that in mind when you make a mid-ride change. So. I knew yesterday that I had this ride, which was not going to be super stressful, and then I have a day off, so I did feel pretty good about my decision. I did factor that in yesterday before I decided to tempo the rest of the way up that hill. So it wasn't for lack of taking it into consideration, I guess I would say. It was just, it was just a little more than I needed this week. So, anyways, again, if you're following me on Facebook, if you can, it would be awesome if you would pop on over to Twitch and give me a follow at twitch.tv/EricXJohnson. And if you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. Really appreciate you watching, and I will look forward to seeing you again on Tuesday.